You're listening to Unmuted Love. Hi there, I'm C. Ushelman, and with 35 years as a marriage and family therapist and 25 years as a parent of 2 children I brought home from the foster care system, I want to welcome you here to Unmuted Love Podcast, the one place where nothing is off limits to say out loud about parenting children from difficult beginnings.
Stop for a minute, stop and breathe for a minute, long it over your head, try to listen instead, won't you? Think for a minute, who you want to be for a minute, don't get over your head, you're like everyone else, aren't you?
Sometimes it's real sweet around here, and sometimes it ain't so pretty, because this is 100% Unmuted Love. So let's go.
You'll be just
Welcome back, parents. I hope you are feeling amazing today. And since feelings are decidedly not facts, you're amazing whether you feel it or not. How about we take a couple of deep breaths together? Maybe you haven't even had one all day. And I'm talking about a deep in through your nose, down into your deep belly, and then out through your mouth. So here we go. Take a deep breath into your nose. And now blow it out. Deep breath in. And now blow it out. That feels better. So today we're going to dive into bottom-up brain parenting. You have to do that from a regulated place, don't you know? Bottom-up parenting really means from the lower part of the brain, where our kids from difficult beginnings and kids who are neurodiverse spend a lot of their time, and not from the higher brain where you wish they would spend most of their time. And I can hear the resounding amen on that higher brain wish from here. But it is what it is, and this is how to parent what is, not what isn't. How is that for what my good friend Tracy calls woo-woo talk? Okay, let's get into it. It's not really woo-woo talk. It's actually neuroscience-y. Recently, I gave a short presentation to an organization called First Five in Siskiyou County, California, on looking at life's challenges through the eyes of a child from difficult beginnings. And there were some super important bottom-up things in that workshop that I'm going to expand upon here. But before I do that, I want you to sort of settle into thinking about your child for a second. And I'm going to talk to you from the perspective of a child who comes to you from difficult beginnings. Dear parents, I am not every child. I am different deep down inside and all around outside too. I see you differently than you see yourself. I often don't really trust you. I don't even believe you sometimes, and I don't really think I need you. I feel alone, scared, angry. I feel hateful, victimized, abandoned, harmed, and like I have to survive you. I've been hurt in ways I remember and ways I don't remember. My hurt is real even though it's invisible to you, and it's invisible to other people too, but it's still here. Dear parents, please see me, not the child you wish I were. See my story. It's a living story, and it lives on my body and in my brain. I'm resilient, and I am not all better because I came to live with you. I am not able to be grateful for what you do for me because I can't feel that yet. Please don't be angry with me for my lack of emotional awareness. I don't know that I'm harmed in the ways you see. I know you think I'm awful sometimes, but I can't see that yet either. Telling me that I'm selfish, lazy, and ungrateful only makes me hate myself. And frankly, I kind of hate you too for it. I have no idea there's another way yet. I keep saying yet because I hope you can trust that I will develop all the things you think I'll never have. I just don't have them yet, but I'll get there. In time, if you can hang in here with me, I will grow and begin to think more about other people. I will learn to care about the things I do and how they impact you. I'm going to be capable of love and good judgment one day. Please hang in here with me. Please don't give up on me because I give up on myself in little ways, every day, one way or another, all day long. I am always hanging by a thread. My ability to feel connected is thin like a thread too. Please love me until I can love myself. I will love you as soon as I can. Please don't hate me. Hate what was done to me. Hate what trauma did to me. But please don't hate me because I can't manage myself. Will you hang in here with me, even when I act ugly and mean, even when I'm clingy or when I'm rejecting? Will you hang in here while I struggle to find myself? And while I am so scared I can only fight or run away or collapse frozen in my bed, one day I will tell you that I love you for real. And I'll mean it. I will even show you how grateful I am. I can't tell you now, but I need you more than anything else in the world. I really need you. So that is from the eyes of a child. Parents, I really want you to take that in. Take in those words, because children from difficult beginnings really have these kinds of feelings, and they need you to understand it too. But mostly what they need is for you to parent them differently. Parent them like they are special, because you know what? They are special. Their brains are special. There are some overarching truths about children from difficult beginnings I want to share with you. First of all, there are things that are often referred to as big T and small t trauma. But I'm here to tell you that trauma is trauma on the brain and in the lives of children, no matter whether you call it a big T or a small t. When a child has been neglected, abused, and abandoned, it's traumatic. And it's traumatic to all children, and especially injurious to children in utero through the age of 2. Now, of course, it's damaging to all children at any age, but that period in utero to 2 is super, super important because the brain is just forming. And so it's getting imprinted with whatever happens to it. And trauma alters DNA, and it corrupts the internal brain-body communication system. And in children, it lasts a lifetime. We call that toxic stress. And toxic stress leads to something called dysregulation and dysmaturity. Additionally, there are long-term health consequences that last a lifetime too. And we'll talk all about that, but I'm wanting you to really understand this. Trauma destroys a child's experience of felt safety inside their minds and their bodies. It's on a body level. They don't feel safe, which makes them not trust you, which makes them not believe you, which makes them afraid of you. Keep that in mind, because a lot of the behavior you're looking at has nothing to do with you and everything to do with toxic stress. So let me say a little bit about what toxic stress is. Toxic stress really is a state of being that exists in the absence of the trauma that created it. So what that means is kids who went through trauma are hardwired for toxic stress. They live in a state of upregulation or very low downregulation that's caused by too much stress hormone flooding the part of their brain where their executive function is. That's cortisol and adrenaline. If you don't know what the words are, that's what it means. Those are your stress hormones. When stress hormone floods your prefrontal cortex, you become dysregulated easily, meaning you get upset easily and you don't calm down easily. And if you get upset easily and you don't calm down easily, over time, that leads to something called dysmaturity. Dysmaturity just means that you are emotionally much younger than your actual chronological age, which means that you act younger. Sometimes you act your age, but when you're dysregulated, you don't. That doesn't mean that you're acting like a baby. It means that your brain is much younger at that time and must be parented in a different way. So, if you have a child from difficult beginnings, you can be guaranteed they're spending a lot of time in toxic stress. And they are going to be dysregulated easily. They're going to get upset easily. And upset can look like fight. It can look like running away, and it can look like just, collapsing in bed. If they do that a lot, then they're also just not going to be always acting their age. And those are going to be facts. That's why kids like ours really need to be parented differently. They need to be parented in a therapeutic way to help their brains and their bodies heal versus a traditional way, which doesn't take into consideration that their brains and their bodies have been damaged. And that's really all it's about, is meeting your child where they really are rather than treating them like they're typical, because they aren't typical. They're different. Their brains and their bodies are different. And for us to go forward treating them like they're the same is to really not see our children. So I'm really wanting to encourage you to begin to see your child for what is, not what isn't, and begin to parent the brain of your child rather than the behavior of your child. Because the behavior comes from toxic stress. It doesn't come from a willful state of, I just don't care what you think, and I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. So, bottom-up parenting means recognizing that a child's brain needs to be calmed It needs to be soothed. A child needs to have felt safety before they can begin to make good decisions about their own behavior. That's a lot, isn't it? I think I'm going to stop there for today because I'll pick up later next time with a little more information about, well, what does that mean to parent differently? Because there are different ways of going about it. And I'll bet many of you have no idea what that means. How do you actually do that when the world is expecting so much more of your child? And you think it's on you as the parent to teach it to your child one way or another. And of course, to some degree, it is on you. But how you go about teaching it really matters, because how you teach it determines how they learn it. So that's it for today. I'll look forward to seeing you in Unmuted Love next week. Until then, remember, your love matters. Hey parents, this is C. Get the help you need to end destructive and chaotic behavior in your home while parenting children from difficult beginnings. I know you need help, and the Love Plus parenting model actually works. I'm inviting you to work with me personally for 6 months in my virtual therapeutic parent program, and I guarantee you results or 100% of your investment back. How is that for a blue ribbon deal? I'm looking forward to working with you. See you on the inside.
Stop for a minute. Stop and breathe for a minute. Long it over your head. Try to listen instead, won't you? Think for a minute. Who you want to be for a minute. Don't get over your head. You're like everyone else, aren't you? You could gain from being a bit nicer. Knowing to talk and when to shut your mouth.
The Unmuted Love podcast is hosted by me, C. Eshelman, attachment and trauma specialist at the Attach Place in Sacramento, California. Our podcast producer is the amazing Saya Clark, and our theme song is Nicer by Houses on the Hill, licensed through Epidemic Sound. Thank you for being such loyal listeners here on Unmuted Love. I'll see you all next week.
You'll be just fine.